No, look up
Three,
his press conference because
two,
he did a
one.
mustache thing and it looked horrid.
All right, we're live now.
What's up, gamers? It's Beerumverate Saturday. That was a bit shit.
I liked it.
That was a regular American accent.
Yeah, it was a decent American accent.
Yeah.
Well, it was meant to be Canadian because isn't Dreamcast guy Canadian?
Maybe.
Who Canadian America? Whatever. Hey everybody. After a week's hiatus of me moving house and Mitch being in Colorado drinking far too much Coors beer, we are back. We are the Beerumverate. We are a group of guys from sifted.net who like talking about good beer and video games. We are not here to promote drinking. Please drink responsibly. And what else do we talk about? Any beers or breweries we may be talking about aren't sponsoring us, and we'll probably never get sponsored, and Matt will never get that new PC that he's been so longing for. But that's the breaks. Them's the breaks, as the people's sometimes says. Mitch, how's things in Minnesota?
It's cold and shitty. But I'm playing a lot of video games, so I'm pretty happy.
Matt, how's things in Vegas?
Vegas is good. It's a balmy 78 degrees Fahrenheit out here. It still hasn't quite gotten to the fall yet.
It's 12 degrees here. You want to trade?
No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the weather here. But yes, things are good in Vegas.
Right, I have no idea what happened in the last about 5 seconds because everything just froze. So I'm going to say that everything is terrible in Las Vegas. The Bellagio's sprinkler system has stopped working and people have just lost their minds. And they're all running to the Flamingo thinking there's actual flamingos there, but no, then they realise that there isn't. So they're running to the MGM Grand.
There actually are real flamingos there.
Oh, for fuck's sake. And this is what we're talking about. Only in Vegas would you have real flamingos at the Flamingo. And we're talking about video game worlds that you'd like to live in. But first, beers.
Yes. Mitch, do you have any beers?
On call.
On call. Keith, you must
I'm on
have.
call for the rest of the year until like.
How many versions
December
of Coors did they have?
Oh,
in Colorado.
What?
How many versions of Coors did they have? Because you went to the Coors.
Yeah, so I guess we can talk about it for a second. Yeah, so when I was in Denver, Colorado, I visited the Coors brewery headquarters. So you get to take a tour there. I don't know how many different versions. Actually, I have a picture by all the barrels. So let me find that picture really quick, and I can tell you how many different versions of barrels you can find. But
too many, because mainly every version of Coors is a different derivation of piss.
Well, actually, I will say that
technically Blue Moon is not bad. Blue Moon's part of the Coors brand. It's not bad.
I'm not a wheat beer fan, but I like regular Coors. Coors Light is not anything to write home about, but.
And you're dissing my lining kugels, bro. Don't diss me. That's part of the Coors beer brand. But I did find a cool T-shirt on explaining why Shane picked Coors beers as his favorites, one of his favorite beers to drink on his show. If you want to check out the episode, just go on YouTube and check it out. But it says a Coors man is a sexy man.
That seems a bit forced.
Well, I felt like that was the reason why he thought that Coors.
Well, if he can always comment on the show and say, "Yeah, that's why I started drinking Coors, because I'm a sexy man."
So I did visit there, and then I did visit Coors Field. So it actually has a baseball field named after Coors as well. So got to sit in the visitors' dugout and also sit in their locker room, which was pretty fancy.
Because all I know about Coors is Coors Light from the adverts that I see over in this country, where it has to be pronounced Coors.
Yes.
Coors. You've got to pretend that you're Mix It or Mike's Q is he's also no Coors. Lower that voice a bit. Right, Matt.
I have Stone, Tropic of Thunder, not to be confused with Tropic Thunder.
Or Thor.
Yeah, this is a tropical lager. It has no business calling itself a lager. It should be an IPA. It's 5.8%.
Well, is it not lagered? It's not carbonated.
It is, but it's so hoppy for a lager. It really should just be an IPA, which is probably what they did.
No, it shouldn't, because if you lager a beer, it's then a lager. It's quite simple.
Okay, that's fair.
Which I did forget to say, Berkough, just for you, I took a selfie with some hops. With just like, I was gonna send it to you, and I forgot to do that. It's still on my phone, so I might still tweet it at you. But I did. It was
that would be genius. Genius. It's just
like Berkough would appreciate a picture. Just hops.
Nice. No, it's pretty decent. It's I'm on this tropical kick lately. I like the more sort of fruity varieties. But it's not so bad. It's not like sweet or anything like that. It's just a nice subtle hint of fruit. So McWomble, what are you drinking?
I have Dark Star Hophead.
Nice.
Which it says it's light and hoppy, and it is. I like it when people describe things how they actually are. That's kind of pompous wine tasting thing. You get, what was it I said previous episode? You get hints of grapefruit and pomposity.
Yes.
This is a very light but very hoppy ale. Not particularly strong. It's only 3.8%. But it's the kind of thing that you could quite happily have a couple of and not get too bored of, because there's a bit of bitterness to it, but not enough to make it seem like a different style of ale. So it is a very light, probably wrong time of year to be drinking a light hoppy summer style ale, since it's pissing it down outside and it's only about 8 degrees. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Nice.
So if you're ever in Sussex, Dark Star ale.
For later on in the episode.
I have others.
Yeah, I do too.
I have something else I've never seen before.
Is that a
Keller
world
Pills.
map? Or is that a bear?
That is a flying hippopotamus carrying a globe.
Oh,
It's a world map.
Okay.
So yeah, I saw that. I thought I'd give that a go as well. Right, shall we move on to the rumours, of which I have none?
Wait, Berkough said he had one more beer.
Sorry,
for later.
I'll just surprise everybody.
Or we save that for the epilogue. Oh, we forgot to say this, the super secret epilogue. Right, rumours. Hideo Kojima's next film is going to be 16 hours long.
It's about how much time it took me to finish the campaign of Outer Worlds, so I can do that.
It's just gonna be a guy walking with packages. That's the movie.
Yeah. So that was great. I'm super enthused, obviously, to hear that Hideo Kojima's opening a movie studio now, since that's what he's wanted to do for the last however many fucking years. Matt, do you have a rumor?
I wrote in the show notes that I may have a rumor, but
is the rumor that you may have a rumor? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, that's the rumor, is that I might have a rumor.
Okay.
But it turns out that rumor is not true.
So I do have one. So obviously, with the success of Luigi's Mansion, where it's getting crazy reviews of how good it is, and featuring the new and improved Gooigi, Nintendo decides to be the company that they always wanted to be, which is a company for children. So they have created a Gooigi goo that you can buy at stores near you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there'd be people downloading the recipe for that right now, wouldn't there?
and it comes with its own like template, so you can like form the goo into Gooigi and like just like pull it apart, and then it's like all
is that going to be the new thing? Is that going to be so we tried Labo, we've tried Ring Fit, next it's going to be goo?
Yes.
Protect your controllers.
Yeah.
Just like it requires you to smash the goo into your controller. That's the challenge. That's the challenge of the game. It's the controller. It's not the game.
I just imagined like a big controller condom that you put on to use the goo to protect it.
Did we mention the show's probably not safe for work? Okay.
This show is NSFL,
and that's not a sports team.
It's not safe for
not
life.
Not safe for the living.
Yeah, not safe for life.
No, not safe for life. So we're dead. Is the guy? So we're in the good place. Is that what the show is?
We're definitely in a good place.
We should also mention.
But thinking we're in the good place.
Yeah, after a week off, we're just like trying to get back in the rhythm of things. So.
It's only been just a week. It's felt like a month.
Jeez, moving and everything is. I'm so very tired. But yeah, I'm here because I'm the most dedicated motherfucker you know, and that's the rumor. You wait and see if it's true or not. Yeah. Okay. Mitch's expression on his face says he's questioning that.
Hardcore.
Right.
Hardcore.
Right. Topic. I think we've all may have come at this from a slightly similar angle, or at least Matt and I have, because I was thinking about this. It's like, video game worlds I'd like to live in. Most of the games I play, people die.
Very horrible deaths.
I'm not sure I want to live there.
That's life. It's not like the world sucks there or anything. It's just people die in the world.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons I probably wouldn't want to live in. Bear with me. I'll get there. I don't want to be turned into a husk. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
As much as I love the Mass Effect universe, I probably wouldn't want to live there.
Wait, so that's gone from places I want to live to now places I don't want to live?
I'm just kind of drawing that line about where I am in the sand. As much as I like certain places in video games, unless I am, if this is just kind of, so the rules I imposed on myself for this topic, This is just me. I am not the badass version of the avatar that I am playing in the video game.
Right.
So I am not a kick-ass soldier or biotic. I just happen to be someone living on the Citadel, and then suddenly I get turned into human pulp to go and feed an army of collectors.
Technically, I guess you could process it as it's not interpreted as you have to live in the world as it is when you're playing the game. You could have been in that world 100 years before Commander Shepard happened, and so therefore you would be a time of peace.
Yeah, so this is where I'm self-imposing rules. Another place. Let's see if I've got another one. Another place I wouldn't want to live. Sound effects. Ping. I do not want some malevolent, bloody, controlling god telling me everything that I had to do, where I lived, built my home for me, what job I had. I never ever would want to live in the Sims universe.
You don't speak gibberish.
I don't want. Well, maybe. But just having someone control every aspect of what you do, and it just seems really creepy. I nearly put a thing in here about Mario Odyssey as well.
Oh my
saying
God.
I wouldn't want to live in any of the Mario worlds because he's a vicious psychopath, as we've
Who
discussed.
murders people.
Yeah, he just
Consistent
murders
basis.
Goombas because of fits of separation anxiety from Princess Peach. Anyway, that's two worlds I definitely wouldn't want to live in. I'll come back to the ones that I would want to live in later. Matt, take us away with what you want to talk about.
Well, I was thinking about it, and I guess we came to similar conclusions because we both imposed the same rules on ourselves, whereby if I am just another regular person in this universe, there is no way that I want to live in these worlds, because without having that superhuman ability, or magic abilities or something like that, whatever it is that we do in game, with our avatars, that is sort of fantastical. If you don't have that, these worlds are not conducive for like the average person to live in. I thought about the Elder Scrolls and Tamriel. I was like, yeah, I'm usually the guy running around murdering just random NPCs. And if I'm a random NPC in that world, that's not a good look for me.
Yeah, you're gonna have someone come and steal all my crockery,
right?
And then murder me in my sleep.
Yes, exactly.
Not necessarily in that order.
Yeah, Mass Effect.
And read all your books. Someone could just creep into your house and read all your books.
That too. And Mass Effect, like, same thing. Like, I'm just gonna be, destroyed by the Reapers, or a husk, which would not be fun.
You know what's worse than all of them?
What?
Living in the world of The Witcher 3.
Being just a regular.
Good lordy, you can be killed by a human. You could be killed by a griffin. You could be killed by a ghost, a demon.
Drowners.
You could just drown. There's so much wrong that could happen to you in that world. That world is not a world to live in.
Yeah,
and whatever you do, don't live in the world of Uncharted and think, you know what, I fancy a career change. Maybe I should become a mercenary.
Well,
I think mercenary work in general is probably not the best choice.
That was the other.
I don't know. It works well for the U.S. government.
That was the other hard part too, is trying to think about games that are not based or have some basis in like Earth as we know it. Uncharted, Tomb Raider, like that. There's a lot of game worlds. Any racing game, like it's just Earth today. So trying to find those games which are not reflective of the world we already live in, but stuff that maybe is very different.
Well, going off that, a world I think I wouldn't mind living in. I'd be okay. I think I'd be okay living in it. The world of Resident Evil.
You wouldn't mind being a zombie?
Hey, no, I can buy my own gun and protect my own self.
I was
because like
Leon,
Leon,
you can imagine Mitch as a liquor.
So Leon, Claire, Chris, all of them are average
Mitch.
Joes. They're anyone. I mean, literally,
you're the next in the
is
series.
a college student. So like, it doesn't matter. So for me, I would feel comfortable living in that world, even though it's not probably the best place to live. I think it's compared to some of these other places where you have no shot. This one you have a shot to live. So I'll at least take that one.
Okay.
But actually, my actual pick for the place I would want to live, though, would be in the world of Final Fantasy 15.
Okay.
That world is super cool, and it's
like flying cars and beating up giant land tortoises.
Yep, flying tortoises. The towns in that world are amazing. Like, holy cow, that waterfall area. I don't even know what the city's called, but the one that's surrounded by water. so cool looking. The main place where the main character is from, so cool looking, and the world is just beautiful. So I think that's
You
one.
could probably steer yourself away from the Civil War as well.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't get it. I mean, technically, those soldiers that came for the kingdom, they weren't killing the people. Like they were killing soldiers. So as long as I'm not a soldier, and I probably would choose not to be a soldier because I'm not that stupid to like know it's a losing fight. Like I would be smart about it, and it'd be like I'll just be a normal person, and like live in the town when they take over, or just take my stuff, pack it up, and walk away. And there's plenty of small towns I can go live in, and yeah, there's monsters, but hey, like you can buy tons of weapons. There's opportunity for everyone.
You can steal a flying car from someone as well.
Well, I mean, they were walking in the beginning of the game. I could just knock them all out and just take their car.
Or you could dress up as a soldier and then if another soldier came up to you and said, "Are you a soldier?" You could totally out of worlds them and say, "No, I'm not a soldier." Is it where you're dressed like a soldier? No, I'm a spy. I'm on your side. I'm just dressed like this to infiltrate the opposition. I was like, oh, okay.
Nice.
Some of the people in the Outworlds are a bit dim, but it's a fun game. I've only played it for like 15 minutes, but I'm having a good time with it.
I was gonna say you're really banking on this thing on 15 minutes of gameplay.
Oh yeah, but it's like when
you were over the moon on this game before it came out, so you have a bias. You automatically have
I do. I do.
Hardcore bias.
I do have a confirmation bias.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I know that I'm gonna like the game when I play it.
Well.
Would you like to live there, though, Matt? You don't. You know something about it. Would you like to live there? Have you tried bacon flavored tumors?
I am a libertarian, so ultra late stage capitalism is definitely appealing to me. For sure.
McWomble, anyways, you will be. I know you tried to convince me that this would be a great game, so I think you will be happy with my eval on this game. So I'll just put it at that.
Just throwing it out there.
Yep, just throwing it out there.
So Mitch either wants to be a gun-toting zombie killer,
right,
or I don't know, some kind of wandering
wannabe prince
/ whatever in the world of Final Fantasy 15. Where would you like to be?
Where would I actually like to live? I couldn't come up with anything. That was the hard part about this.
I gave you the hint of Final Fantasy worlds. There's so many of them.
Well, see, like, okay, so when we get into Final Fantasy, we start talking about 7. That is horrible. What am I gonna live in Midgar and just be, somebody in the slums? That's not fun.
What about 8? 8's pretty nice.
8's definitely a little more cheery, but you're pretty much relegated to being a student mercenary or just somebody that doesn't have any influence on the world. 6.
What about Fortnite?
The one island. Just
you dance around, shoot people, and you never die.
And you don't have to eat food. Like literally,
there's no need to eat
forever.
Food. You splash yourself with stuff to give yourself energy. It's paradise.
Give yourself blue liquid.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I might like living in the Bit Trip Runner 2 world because that's all cheery and cartoony. I don't know if you guys know that game.
No, never heard of it.
All right. Well, if the stand user was on, he would know what game I'm talking about.
Well, the stand user's not here, so you got to make do with us.
Trying to think. Maybe one of the Behemoth game worlds. So.
Okay, Castle
Crashers, Battle Block Theater. I have not played Pit People yet, but that looks just as entertaining as their previous games. Very cartoony and lighthearted. Seems like anybody that lives in that world has some type of role. So I can get away with that.
and it's fabulous music.
Yes.
If Mythic Griffin was here, I know where he'd like to live, which is the land of Maple Story.
Are you sure it's not Azeroth?
No, that's where he wishes he could live. If he could just live in Blizzard's office, just sleep under a desk, just creep in the night and just kind of set up under a desk and then pretend that he was a janitor or something, just as long as he was close to Blizzard. So for me, I actually thought about this, and I thought, you know what would be a fun video game?
Heck yes, a tennis court would be a great place to live.
The world of Virtua Tennis. Now, there are obvious reasons why you might pick this. One, quality of company. You get to talk to some of the best tennis players in the world. Two, you get fit and learn how to play tennis better.
Okay.
And three, there's very little chance of you dying.
Now I do have to ask. What is the best? I've heard great things about Virtua Tennis, and they haven't came out with one recently, so I haven't been able to have a shot at one. What is the best Virtua Tennis?
3.
And well, that one's for the PS3?
360, PS2.
PS2. Holy cow.
No, is it 2? No, must have been 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's 3. It was out on the 360. I played it on the 360. And there's some really fun games that you can play in there that aren't actual tennis. So you up your skills by you up your serve by doing 10-pin bowling, but with your tennis serve. So there's mini games in there, and it's all good fun. You're not going to get attacked by Reapers. There's no zombies trying to eat your brains. Nathan Drake isn't going to swing in off a rope line and shoot you. So it's a nice world, a bit of competition where you can get fit and improve your tennis skills, play some fun mini games, travel the world. You get to travel all over the world. So this is quite possibly the most idyllic game world that anyone would want to live in. And you get to chat to hot female tennis players or male tennis players, depending on which preference you have.
No, but unfortunately, the only thing is you get to travel around the world, but all you see is a tennis court.
And training rooms and the restaurants and other tennis courts. As I would much prefer to live in the world of virtual tennis than Resident Evil. Let's just do that.
What?
Now I did think of another world that would be cool to live in. That would be Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. Oh,
who would not want to live in a Disney world?
I wouldn't. That sounds like torture.
Well, you get to pick which Disney world you get to live in.
All of them are going to be horrible. Yeah.
Do you know what? If I was in the world of Kingdom Hearts, I'd probably get thrown out for murdering Donald Duck.
Well, you just don't live in the same world as Donald Duck. Just go live somewhere else.
Yeah. But he'd be there, be annoying. Quacking bastard. Do you know what? I'd end up getting hungry or something and then just killing him and roasting him.
I like the taste of duck too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I have my number one world. Oh, go ahead first, but I have my number one world now. I thought one.
I've got another one, but I'll wait for it because I'm excited now.
My number one place to pick. Oh, Mike's Q. He's on chat, and he just said the 100-acre wood would not be too bad.
It's not a video game.
I mean, that was Mike's Q. That was the first thing I thought about when I would just hear Winnie the Pooh go, "Oh gosh," all the time. I would be like,
It would annoy the fuck out of me.
I would have, if you saw the new South Park, Randy Marsh strangled Winnie the Pooh. And it was glorious. That's what I probably would have done to Winnie the Pooh if I was in that world. But anyways, actually, speaking of South Park, the world I would live in is South Park, the Fractured But Whole. Sorry, not the
Okay.
bubble. The stick of truth. I would live in the stick of truth.
All right.
Do you know how fun that would be to live in that world every day? Oh, I love the show. So for me, it's just like candy. Just eat it all up. Plus, I have my own
That would be
character.
great.
I already live in the world. I got my own character.
That would be quite fun. But would you be doing it as yourself as a adult, or would you be doing it as yourself as a child being involved with
I have
the
to be
games?
the I have to be the kid.
Yeah, you have to be a child.
You have to be a kid. You have to be the child.
Just eternally in 4th grade for the rest of your life.
So no, they upgraded. They are in 5th grade now. It took them 10 years, 10 seasons to get to 1 grade.
Well, there you go.
Maybe
So,
they
like,
were continuously held back for bad scores.
I was gonna say basically basically in this show they went to school every single day of the week, and there's more than 365 days in a year according to South Park. So
But you get to be a wizard or an elf.
So what's yours? What's yours, McWomble?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily want someone to throw shit at me to gross me out. So I'm not sure about your choice of South Park, however humorous it may be. So I am going to go with
I don't know what world
Stardew Valley.
That's a good one to pick. Yeah. It's a nice, easygoing world. You get to grow your plants.
World based on community.
Yeah.
You've got friends to go fishing with. You're all growing vegetables and having farms, and you're all engaging with one another. Everything's polite.
Jesus, why don't you just live in Harvest Moon?
Well, same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or what's the other one?
Yeah.
What's the Nintendo one with the villagers?
Oh no, that would just, if I was there, it would just be a murderous rampage.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing. Oh, there wouldn't be anything left. It'd just be a
So what is it?
just be a burning pile of
Mayor Tom or whatever his name is.
yeah. I just wouldn't be able to cope with that. I'd go full on Mario.
How about everybody's gone to the rapture? It's just you. There's nobody else. You're just alone with your thoughts in a beautiful landscape.
And psychosis because you're alone.
I'd go insane. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Well, I'm just saying there's nobody there for you to like want to murder, right? So you can.
Well, if I was doing that, I'd rather live in the world of Abzu. At least I can see creatures.
Abzu, Journey. Journey would be
That's
cool.
what the other one I was thinking of was Journey too.
That'd be a cool world to live in.
And the thing is about those as well, they are absolutely stunningly beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? Could touch all the creatures and get to like play with dolphins, listen to cool music.
Get chased by a shark.
Yeah. Heal the environment because it's environmentalism is, at least in Abzu, environmentalism is a big message on theirs.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you guys played Abzu?
I have.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I prefer Journey.
What about have you guys ever played Rhyme?
No. I know where Matt would like to live. I know where Matt would like to live.
Where?
The land of the Talos Principle.
Yeah, I could do that. Being able to use my mind and figure out puzzles and speaking to
Heck, if he wants to live there, he would want to live in. Oh, geez, now the game's blanking on me. It's the one with it's the one that came out.
Stanley Parable. That would be another one from that.
No,
that would be horrible. Just be stuck in this loop. Of
Shoot, why am I not thinking of this game? It's the one. It's a puzzle game. It's literally the world is a puzzle, and literally you're just doing puzzles all day long.
The Witness.
Thank you.
The Witness.
You would like to live in The Witness.
I thought about that one, and I almost brought that up, but the problem with that is it's
too many puzzles.
Yeah.
You're just going insane of puzzles.
It's too many puzzles.
And the thing is with The Witness as well, I'm getting this weird vibe from Matt. Do you actually want to live in solitude?
Do I actually want to live in solitude? That's a good question.
It's literally, we're basically saying, do you want to leave your wife to live in solitude?
No.
Just to do puzzles.
Just all day long.
Yeah.
I will say of those two games, so The Witness and Talos Principle were both games that my wife and I sat down and played together. So, yeah.
My roommate back in college played that game for like a week straight, and he's a big puzzle guy, and literally that's all he did. He beat the entire game. He got the platinum for it. I don't know how.
For Witness?
Yeah, he was just hardcore into that
Dude,
thing.
That's hard because the only reason that I haven't gotten the platinum in The Witness, and I know how to do it, I've looked it up, is the last trophy that I need is actually a timed sequence that you have to go through in that game. And I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I've already done everything else. I am not doing this timed sequence thing. It's just a pain in the ass.
He was in it all. He was so proud to get his own platinum trophy. That was his first and only platinum trophy he ever got.
Yeah, I'm one trophy away, but it's not happening.
I've thought of another world I'd like to live in.
Which?
Full Throttle.
So you want to be a cartoon biker?
Yeah, hell yeah. just listening to the Gone Jackals all day on my bike. Don't know how I'd do that.
How do you?
Because I'd be riding, I wouldn't be able to hear them. But yeah, the world of Full Throttle is really well fleshed out, and as long as you avoid other biker gangs, you can just have a whale of a time.
How do you guys feel about Titanfall 2?
I didn't play Titanfall 2.
You should. It's a good game.
It's a really good game.
And I think it's really cheap at the moment.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's kind of
talk after. I have so many games on my library right now that I gotta get through.
it's kind of similar to the Outer Worlds in a way, because you have this colony setup that's going on, and you've got these corporations that, you know.
Mike did throw in there that he said a No Man's Sky would be interesting to live in. He also said a post-quest Wind Waker Hyrule would be nice to live in.
Yeah.
Which I would agree with that Hyrule one.
Looks like Charles also commented in the chat. And he said Leisure Suit Larry, magna cum laude.
Well, that goes more to show the psyche of your friend and previous guest. Or was that a suggestion for one of us rather than his suggestion? Was he suggesting one of us live in the world of Leisure Suit Larry?
He did not specify.
Leisure Suit Larry.
He didn't specify, but yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not big on kind of PVC tuxedos and innuendo.
There's nothing wrong with polyester. It's a glorious
I was just
fabric.
trying to think of another one. Mainly ones that I think of that could be fun and not too dangerous happen to be quite a lot of the old point and click adventures.
Yeah.
So Monkey Island.
Yeah.
That would be a fun place to live.
Oh, so one of you said Full Throttle already, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't putting two and two together, but when you said Click Adventures, I was like, oh yeah, that's what Full Throttle is. Duh, I know what that is. That would be a great world. My dad's a huge biker, so my dad played that game when I was a kid. So,
I love that game.
That I have it on my PS4, because I bought it on sale or something like that. But no, that would be a great world to live in. Absolutely.
Yeah, relatively easy platinum as well. My only platinum trophy.
And that's saying something.
Yeah, because I can't be asked with platinum trophies, and two, I'm not going to play the fucking Yakuza games just to get a platinum trophy. I'm not spending 10 hours playing.
I would live in a Yakuza world. Give me that, Evan.
I mean, there's enough crazy shit that happens in those games that it would be at least entertaining.
Yeah, as long as you're not a punk or a drunk or a biker or a Yakuza.
You're just not
It's pretty
affiliated
much
with any gang. That's what's important. Just don't be affiliated with any of the gangs, and you're good. You're solid. You just get to enjoy everything that's happening.
Yeah.
You're not going to have some glowing blue, beefy Japanese guy stomp your face into the side of the pavement.
And just don't ask to take baby pictures.
Yeah, and you'll have a never-ending supply of tissues from all of the people standing on the sides of the road handing out tissues.
I think that's a lot like real life Japan, from what Evan has told us. He has an endless supply of pocket tissues.
When I was thinking about this, I was really racking my brains about actual places that I would like to live, and this is where I kind of gone, not so sure. That's because right. So the games that I've got sitting downstairs next to my PS4 at the moment are The Outer Worlds, which is dystopian, ultra corporate culture gone mad kind of situation, and Rage 2,
which is
I
a post-apocalyptic.
So definitely don't want to live there.
Now, I was thinking about BioShock. At least
oh God, I would never want to live there. Holy cow!
In Rapture, or
not as a normal person, and this is where I was the self-imposed rules, because I don't know if Matt, you and I are kindred spirits.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. So I was actually thinking, if there were a way, like Mitch was saying, if you could get there before shit went bad.
Well, that's the thing. Like, what's the name of the city in Infinite? The Cloud City. Columbia. So like Columbia, other than the racism, seems like a decent place to live. Like
just the mild racism, really. Just it's not enough to put you over the line.
Yeah.
But Rapture as well. That would have been before everyone went absolutely fucking nuts and became splicers. I think that would have been quite an interesting place to live.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. I can have bees come out of my hands.
Let's see. What about...
Is it on that revelation that I'd like to have bees coming out of my hands?
I just had to think about it for a while just to understand what you were really saying about that.
The plasmids. What about...
it's not a euphemism for anything.
What about like Metal Gear Solid 4? Is this crazy dystopian, world?
This is a non-Hideo Kojima podcast. Keep that shit out.
That's perfectly fine with me. Moving on.
Just kidding.
Moving on.
But it is a little off topic, but I'm just curious how you guys feel about those reviews coming out at the moment for that thing. How it's just so polarizing, either one way or the other way.
Well, all right. So let's when we're talking about video game worlds, let's just think about this for a second. Death Stranding is a post-apocalyptic world where average everyday humans have to transport packages themselves on foot. Somehow the Monster Energy drink company still exists and is still able to like create and ship this shit across the world. How is that possible?
How is Conan O'Brien still alive?
How is Conan O'Brien
Well, Conan O'Brien is still alive because even though he may act like a very dumb man, he's quite a smart man. But
he cloned himself.
Yes, he very much could. That I would believe.
He cloned himself using otter DNA, which is it's not an outfit. Here's a fucking rumor for you. Hideo Kojima found out about his scheme, but was sworn to secrecy. So he found out that Conan O'Brien was using otter DNA to clone himself. And he put it in his video game to sell it to the world, to tell the world about what Conan O'Brien was doing.
I like that. I like that rumor.
Berkough, to answer your question, I think it is entirely possible. And it is believable. Because if you think about it, and I guess you'll figure it out when you play the Outer Worlds, it's a similar scenario where, corporations have a shit ton of money. And so therefore, if the world ends, these businesses still have power in the world and still have influence, and there's still rich people that will want to buy the monster and have it imported from one state to another, even though for that it costs millions of dollars because they're rich and they don't give a shit. They just want their monster and that's all they want. So I buy that as believable. I just do. I really do.
Okay. So in the pending apocalypse, how much would it be for Matt to ship some cans of stones, whatever it was,
Tangerine
Norman
Express.
Via Norman Reedus's secure pouchwork, baby installation.
Oh my god!
System. And does the fact that Norman Reedus has to stop for a piss, do you get a discount for that?
No, it counts against him because he can't. It's time off the clock. He's trying to deliver it as soon as possible. So therefore, doing that piss time takes away money. That's why he's got to hold it as long as possible.
Yeah, is it like the Domino's delivery guarantee? Oh, sorry, mate. You stop for a piss, and I'm not paying.
It's longer.
Wait, do you have that guarantee in the UK as well? Is that commercial play out by you guys?
No, I get it on the NFL ads.
Okay.
I very much doubt we'd have that.
I was like, do they do it all? Is that for like not just the United States? I was about to go like, wow.
Here, if a Domino's pizza showed up, you'd be lucky if someone didn't spit in it.
Wow.
I'm not a fan of Domino's pizza. I am a fan of Sharp's Wolf Rock Red IPA.
Available now.
Available now in all good stores. Much kind of fuller, more rounded flavour than the last one I was drinking. Significantly more malty, but still with a hoppy kind of hit. Very nice. I'd ship this by a Norman Reedus if I could.
Yes. So Tangerine Express IPA, that was the second one that I cracked.
That sounds disgusting.
Dude, it's delicious actually. It's more on the orange peel spectrum, so it's the bitter hop with just a slight citrus. It's actually really good.
Okay.
And I would ship it via Norman Reedus.
Because it's going to be the next thing, isn't it? Would you ship this beer by Norman Reedus?
Yeah.
Now here's the thing I thought about when we were saying shipping things via Norman Reedus. So when Shane was on and he talked about the keg that they had to like make a lift system for to be on top of the hill.
The mountain, yeah.
I just imagine can Norman Reedus ship that for me?
Yeah.
Just that giant keg.
What is it? I'm never going to play this game. I have no interest in it whatsoever. Yeah. I wouldn't want to live in that world. Absolutely not for a fucking second.
I actually will buy it on a discount. I put that on the thingy. I definitely will not buy it full price.
I will pay it if somebody gives it to me. I will not spend any money on this.
Even if it was like $10.
No. Someone have to pay me to play that game.
Yeah. So Tim Rogers, I don't know if you guys watched his video review for Kotaku.
No, I didn't watch the video version. No.
He came up with a perfect analogy for this game. Death Stranding is the Gran Turismo of walking simulators.
I have to think about this. So, what component of Gran Turismo?
The sim aspect of it. So you do everything, down to adjusting the tow angle on your car.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you do have to like apparently balance yourself when going downhill and stuff.
You have to balance the packages. You have to use both triggers to try and make sure that you're on even footing when you cross.
Stability. Yeah. I've heard about stuff like
as soon as I saw the footage of him having to play harmonica to the baby to calm it, it's like, fuck this.
Hey, you might like that BB at the end of it. You can't just say I'm not gonna like this, and because that's what I said about Outer Worlds. It's like I don't think I'm gonna like this game. I don't like Fallout games. Blah 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 blah.
I've never liked. Some of the elements of games that Hideo Kojima makes, I have enjoyed. As a full game, they are random, bloated, self-indulgent pieces of shit.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, everything post the original Metal Gear Solid, even Sons of Liberty, is just absolutely batshit insane.
Sorry,
oh, go ahead.
Do you mean a fat man who loves explosives on roller skates drinking wine isn't normal?
No, it is entertaining, but no, like the original Metal Gear Solid is actually, like, for all of its exposition, actually makes sense. But you're right. Everything else, like Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, 4 is super self-indulgent. Metal Gear Solid 5, every mission that you go on is directed by Hideo Kojima. Like, what the fuck? This guy lost his mind.
So I'm actually
okay. Back to the topic. Video
I was like, we should rename the topic to this because I think this is a lot of way more interesting of how we're tackling, because it's interesting. It's just Hideo is such a polarizing person in the industry. Either people really love his games or they absolutely think they're garbage. And so the thing for me that I think comes into play, which is different between you two, is my first Metal Gear game was Metal Gear Solid 4.
Okay.
So my introduction to Metal Gear in general was that weird game, which was an interesting experience on its own, because that thing is like it's like, it is a game, but it's like not a game at the same time, because it's very much a like
if you can
go to this spot, cutscene, hide, go to the spot, cutscene. And I've actually never it was the first time in a game I ever had to pause a game in a cutscene, put down the controller, go get some food, and come on back, because I realized this cutscene was already taking 30 minutes, and I was like, I don't know how much longer this cutscene's gonna be. It was a cool cutscene, but it was like 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it was just so it was so different for me as an experience, because I just never experienced anything in games like this before. I think nothing like this.
I think the word that you're looking for instead of interesting is pretentious. Like the first part of that game is like an hour cutscene. You literally have to, like, you put the game in. You're like, all right, I'm gonna start playing. Okay, let me set my controller down and just sit here for the next fucking hour.
You're playing a game, yet you have to put the controller down to start the game.
Yeah, and like, okay, so you could argue that maybe he's being subversive by doing that, right? Like,
no, it's self-indulgence.
Right, but I don't know.
You're playing the game by not playing the game.
And I drank the Kool-Aid again when I bought fucking Ground Zeroes, and I convinced myself that was decent. It happens.
Yeah.
Bought a demo.
I did play a little bit of Metal Gear Solid 5, and I had to stop because I guess it wasn't my cup of tea. Like, I liked the approach they were trying to do of doing it more open world style, but it just not my kind of game. So I never finished it.
The mechanics are great. Like, Metal Gear Solid 5 is
it seemed like a fun game.
It's a solid game from a mechanics perspective. It's very fun when you just start messing around in the sandbox, but everything that surrounds it, from the story to the fact that every mission has this weird introduction on the helicopter that you go through, to the strange characters, to the fact that Quiet breathes through her skin and that's why she's half naked. Like, it just doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Well, that was justification for having a semi-naked woman in the game, for God's sake.
Right.
Well, I think
everybody was cool with it.
I think ultimately they were, I think in the end, ultimately it was that I think people were so excited for Silent Hills more than his next Metal Gear game, was because I have a feeling, and this is just off like my observations of how things have gone with Kojima and Konami.
It's not from your source.
No, this is not from my source. That Kojima wanted to go away from Metal Gear, but Konami would never let him. So he had to try find creative ways.
It was either pachinko machines.
Well, because they know it sells, and I think that's why Konami never wanted to let it go. Like, heck, when he left, they still did a Metal Gear game. It just was a really crappy online game. But in the end, I think they never wanted him to let it go. And I think, but he wanted to. He wanted to take a step back and try some different things. And you can clearly tell by how drastically different his games started to be as he got from game to game to game, especially once he got after 4. Like, after 4, like how crazy that stuff is with those characters. I think he was trying to make something make sense within that world, but clearly he had a totally
I think he was just
idea.
Taking the piss. I'm just going to make the most batshit crazy thing that I think of and see if people buy it.
Well, you see what he did with what he's doing with Death Stranding. It's so drastically different. And I think that
he's doing the same thing again, but now he's just involved in a load of mates. Is it? Oh yeah, I bet the pitch to Norman Reedus was, yeah, okay, we can't do PT now, we can't do Silent Hills, but do you fancy carrying around a baby with a load of packages while pissing in the wilderness? Like, yeah, sure, I can do that.
Well, did you hear Norman Reedus's interview about that?
Did he actually have to mocap him going for a piss?
No, that they like literally he said they were like, they asked about PT and Silent Hills, and they're like, how was that experience? And he's like, dude, Death Stranding was so much better than Silent Hills was ever going to be. He's like, the concepts were so much cooler and a lot more interesting. The characters were a lot better. So I think he's under the influence. I don't know what drugs Hideo Kojima's got him on.
Yeah, under the influence or under the contract? Like, what did he sign that he has to say that shit?
Norman Reedus doesn't say BS. Like, he says whatever the hell he wants. People know that when they find him.
He'll say whatever it doesn't say on the back of the check.
He doesn't have to go on stage with Kojima all them times. He does not have to.
I mean,
no, but it helps him if he's got a royalty contract and however many copies of the game sell. Anyway, another video game world that I might like to live in, just as random me, spectator, or during these Street Fighter tournaments.
Oh my god, that's a great one. That is a genius.
You never get hurt, but you see all the amazing.
You never get hurt. You see all the awesome fights
live. Your arms must like have serious muscles, like right here, just because of all the arm raises. Yeah. Like literally, you could just do shake weights, like
the background of Guile's stage.
Yeah,
this guy's like shooting dice or whatever.
Yeah, just being in the background, seeing all the awesome fights going on in the arena section. That would probably be the best one.
Yeah.
So just sat in the arena, big screen, just see all of the action, get commentators. It would be quality. Laying your bets down.
That was genius. That was a good one. That was a great way to break away from what we were talking about too.
Don't no.
Oh, I'm not going back into it. It's gone. It's stranding.
It's been stranded.
It's been stranded.
Oh.
All right, guys.
I think we exhausted this topic.
We're hitting about 60 full minutes of talking about video game worlds. Any last thoughts before we end this and then pause for, I don't know, 10 minutes until I get set up again and we start streaming the Star Trek episode?
Don't you just ruined this.
Just gave it away. Wow, way to go. Way to go.
Hopefully we've had a viewer that's actually, gotten to this point.
I would throw in Assassin's Creed in that mix. There's definitely some interesting places to live in the Assassin's Creed worlds. You don't get killed.
High chance of disease and death though.
Famine, all that kind of fun stuff. I'm trying to think of it. Oh, I would love to live in the Ni no Kuni world.
Okay.
That would be a fun world to live in.
Lots of monster fighting.
Lots of monster fighting. Lots of interesting characters.
Right. Brian fucking Quiglin, you and I are going to have a disagreement right now. You're not even on the show. One video game world where I absolutely would not want to live ever, ever, ever is the world of Ni no Kuni. Do you want to know why? Anthropomorphic cat chefs. You should never allow cats in your kitchen. Do you want hair in your food? What is wrong with you?
Oh my god.
And Monster Hunter Worlds. Why have you got cat chefs? They're not hygienic. They lick themselves to get them clean. You're allowing these things to cook for you. What is wrong with you?
Oh man.
And on that note of cat chefs, I think this has been an episode of the Beerumverate, guys.
I think
I better hope so.